Alright, so far we had a look on how to create an inf file that creates our certificate, and that's the inf file content. And we also how to install a certificate, where it's located, and how to uninstall a certificate. Okay, so now let's encrypt some data. So in the previous video we have a uninstall or currently installed certificate, but we had exported the private key. So what we're going to do now is we're going to import the private key. Okay, so if I just double click that, you're going to get the wizard option and click on current user. That's fine. Yep, that's the key I want to import. Click next. The password that you use when you are exporting the key. And here is some interesting options. Okay, so if you put this option on, which we're going to be looking to another video, every time you run this script or every time this key is used, it's going to ask you for a password. Okay, I'm not going to put this for now, but later on we're going to go to a separate video and you're going to see how that looks. So let's click next. You can import automatically. I do like to be explicit where I want to import. In this case, I just want to import to personal. Click OK. Click next. Finish. And private key has been imported. Okay. So if I go back to our certificate manager and just refresh, you're going to see that's back now. Has a friendly name of Samurai. And also if I go back to our Powershell, and if I do ls over here, that shows up. Let me just show you another place where you can find the certificates. So if you go to Internet Options, so if I type Internet Options over here, you're going to see you have the certificates. All right. So if you just go to Content, Certificates. So over here, you're going to see this is the same certificates we have created. Okay. Personal, Trusted Root certificates. It's just another place for you to import or export certificates. These are previous ones. We can delete them. So now that we have installed a certificate again, we have everything we need to start encrypting our data. All right. So one thing I want to do is just I want to clean up this script a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to move these comments over here. I want to make this into a function just for the sake of a function. I'm going to say create inf, open curly brackets, and just put that over there. And this one I'm going to say create certificate, create cert. All right. This way we don't have to comment it out, and it will not run unless we call the functions directly. All right. So I'm just clear this for now. And if I go back to the previous page we have here, so you're going to see this is the context that we have to use to encrypt our data. Okay. So it's very simple. It's very straightforward. So let's go back to our code. So if you remember right, we still have the data variable, which has the data that we're going to be encrypting. All right. I'm going to create a new variable because we're going to the process completely encryption and decryption. Okay. So I'm going to say this one is called protected. I'm going to say data, and I want to convert to JSON format. And the reason we want to do that is to keep the integrity of the data the same during the decryption process. I have noticed during my tests that a few times when the convert to JSON is not present, the data will be scrambled and the decryption would not be a consistency. And if you're still having issues, even use the convert to JSON, I would insist for you to use the convert to binary. And during the decryption process, you decrypt and then you convert to binary backwards and you will revert the data to the original state. So that's why we transform into a JSON file. So let's just check this for now. So if I just run over here and run protect, you're going to see that it looks like a JSON format. Okay, cool. Next thing I want to do is I want to export that using the Protect-CmdMessage. All right. And and here I want to put my email. I just want to make sure, as you can see, I'm keeping the asterisks in between. Okay, this is very important. If you do not do it, it will not work. So make sure you put the asterisks in between. So I'll just save this as a protected data. So in this case, we encrypting the data, we save it to this variable. All right, so that's the encrypted data. And now we can simply do here, do out file, and I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be called encrypted.data. It can be anything, it can be a text file, but I do like to save as a .data file. All right, so if I run this part, it's going to create the file over here, encrypted data file, which will be the same thing as we have looked on the console. Okay, so that's the encryption part. I'm going to put here a comment encryption, and let's make the decryption part. All right, for the decryption part, it's going to be the same thing, but the opposite. So over here, I'm going to put import, actually get content, and the content I want to get is for this location over here. To get content for this one, and I want to save that into a variable. All right, so I'm going to save that as a encrypted, and then I want to do is that I want to do encrypted, and I want to unprotect CMS message. It's going to be the same syntax. All right, I'm going to save that as a enc, to the lack of a better name. And if I just run the enc now over here, now I have the JSON format. All right, so all I have to do now is send to data again, enc, and convert from JSON, and now it's gonna convert back to the data we would like. Okay, and just to try that, let's just try a name over here. Yeah, so that's been converted correctly. So that's how we go around to encrypt and decrypt the data using the Protect CMS message.